Thanks for joining us on the John Mendola Show. We are driven by McCarthy Tire and Automotive Centers at Sac Wyoming Seminary boys tennis. And the number one player there at SEM is Eamon Gibbons. Well, Eamon, for you, it's been a great year. You guys go 11-0 in the league, and you're playing some fantastic tennis. And, boy, your teammate really has talked you up. Samarth Desai said you have improved so much in the offseason. Tell us about that work ethic that really you grinded out some great wins this year and improved your game.
Oh, that's very gracious of Samarth. I've fallen in love with tennis, so I try to play it as much as I can. I go through to a couple camps over the summer, and I do it so that when the season comes, I'm in the best shape that I can be, because it's always a little bit of a grind at the start with, it's colder weather, and it's kind of hard to get back into it, but, the work in the off season really helps me.
Watching you in practice, you said, hey, my weak part is my serve. And watching you serve, you look pretty powerful. And that was one thing that Samarth said, that, boy, you really have some power to you this year.
Yeah, I've tried to work harder on that. I've started lifting a little bit more, and that's helped me get some power on it. There's still a lot I want to be able to do with it, because there's a lot of guys out there that have a much bigger serve than I do, but it's getting better. I just got to work a little bit harder still.
Let's talk a little bit about your team this year and the camaraderie that you guys have and what you've done with an 11-0 regular season.
We have a great group of guys. They all play a little bit in the off season. They all work very hard, and they've been playing for a long time. They're all good athletes. They've got good tennis skills. I love them to death. I mean, playing tennis with them is one of the best times of the year for me, and it's something I look forward to every year.
Let's still talk a little bit about playing some of this great competition. I mean, the team championships this week, singles championships. Next week will be doubles. And I'm sure you really feel like, hey, it's the peak of the season right now. Hopefully you're playing your best tennis and you have an opportunity to possibly advance.
Yeah, that's the hope. It's definitely going to be a challenge. There's a lot of good players, especially at Holy Cross and Prep this year. Also Valley View, and we don't play them in the regular season, so it's going to be interesting to see how they're playing, and hopefully we'll get to the finals and play Prep like we usually do for teams, and it's always an interesting matchup, and it's a very tough one. They've won the last couple of years, but we're hoping to bring it back this year. And as for your singles and doubles, I'm looking forward to that too. But again, there's a lot of good competition, and at the least, I'll play some good matches.
Eamon Gibbons from Wyoming Seminary boys tennis team here on the John Mendola Show. Eamon, talk about what you feel is going really well with your tennis game overall this year. And you said you're trying to improve on that serve, although it looks pretty good from my vantage point. Tell us about what you feel a little more confident about.
I think I play a good game from the baseline. I'm able to set up points pretty well when I get in control of the point, and that's what I try to do. I usually do better in the longer rallies, where I can move my opponent around if I can. And I like hitting from the baseline and trying to get the ball deep and push them back.
Hey, man, when you talk about your career there at Wyoming Seminary, obviously you're a junior, so you got another year to go. What are you looking forward to do by next year, and then possibly is collegiate tennis something you're looking at as well?
Yeah. I've started to talk to some college coaches through an organization called the National Scouting Report, and they've been very helpful so far. I'd love to play in college if I can. It all depends on where I go. I don't really have a shot playing D1, but if I can, wherever I go, I plan on at least playing club sport. But if I can play on a team, I'm going to work very hard to try and see that through if I can.
Eamon, you talk about being around guys like Samarth and some other players on your team. You know that you guys are pushing each other, whether it's in the classroom or on the court. It's nice to have that camaraderie. Talk about your experience there at Wyoming Seminary with everyone.
I mean, I love everyone. It's a great little community that we have. The guys on the team are great. They're good students. They do a bunch of extracurriculars. They're all great guys. I don't know many better people than I do those guys, and it's a pleasure to play with them during the tennis season. But outside of tennis, I love hanging out with them and seeing them at school, and it's always a good time with them.
Well, congratulations, Eamon, on a terrific year for you and your teammates there for the Blue Knights of Wyoming Seminary. And, of course, the best of luck the rest of this year and, of course, for your senior year next year.
Thank you very much.
Eamon Gibbons, a senior from the Wyoming Seminary Blue Knights tennis team here on the John Mendola Show. We are driven by McCarthy Tire and Automotive Centers.